Hi and good morning. Welcome to December Dailies. It's March. That's not right. Hi and good morning. If you're new here, my name is Melissa. This is my kitten child, Mila. We're full-time travelers and digital nomads currently living in Llano Grande, Colombia. And I am so excited to be back making some vlog style videos. I want to talk about a few things today. First, I want to give you guys an update on how living in the country is going. Second, I want to talk about a big change in our travel plans. And third, I found this post online that claims that your cat's paw can determine their personality. And I want to check it with Mila and see if it's true. You looking at birds? Yeah, she's looking at birds. So I know I put out the Why We Left Medellin video about a week ago, but in real time, it's been about 3 weeks since we left the city, and living out in the country is amazing. The air is super fresh. It's extremely safe. I can walk around with Mila on her leash and in her backpack. I can carry my GoPro around town and I don't feel like somebody's gonna take it. It's so much less chaotic. It's just so nice to be out here. However, I have one big complaint and Mila has one big complaint. We'll start with hers. I really underestimated the importance of her having a fenced-in outdoor space because we've pretty much had one since I found her at 10 days old. So I never really thought it was like that big of a deal that we didn't have an outdoor space she could explore all day. But being out here really shed a lot of light on the fact that she has to be outside a fair amount of the day. And it's fine. Like I said, I've been taking her out on her leash and her backpack. I feel like I have a dog right now. We're going out on her leash like 4 times a day. But I know for the future, I'm gonna make sure that we have a good outdoor space for her to explore. And then my big complaint is the fact that every time I have our sliding door open in the night, we get absolutely invaded with mosquitoes. I don't know what the situation is. We have construction going on like right next door, and I think maybe there's like some standing water there, but I killed 70 mosquitoes last night. And I'm not exactly sure how to remedy the situation besides just closing the door, but we don't have a fan and it gets really stuffy. But honestly, I think it's just part of living in the country out here. But overall, I think Llano Grande gets a big thumbs up from us. This is the reality of filming with your pet. You want to find a quiet, cute spot under a glorious tree, and they just want to ride on your back. Ay, Mila. Okay, while the baby is sleeping, let's talk about our travel plans and why they've changed. Initially, I planned for us to go to the EU right about now in April 2024, directly from Colombia. And up until like 6 weeks ago, this was the plan. But as I dug deeper into the requirements bringing your pet to the EU, I realized for 2 reasons we can't go right now. The first reason we're not going to the EU right now is because it is considerably more difficult to go to the EU from Colombia than it is from countries like the United States and Mexico. So the EU has grouped countries together, and basically whatever country you're coming from with your pet, there are certain rules and regulations requirements for them to enter. Countries like the United States and Mexico have the same requirements. You need a rabies vaccine, you need a microchip, and you need like internal, external parasite treatments. Pretty standard stuff. But if you want to bring your pet from Colombia, on top of the regular requirements, you also have to have a titter test. Now, titter test is a blood test to prove that your pet doesn't have rabies, and apparently it needs to be done like a very specific time window, like at minimum 30 days after your pet has been vaccinated. And then within 90 days of you going to the EU, it also has to be administered at like an EU approved lab. And apparently the labs can take up to 90 days to like run the titter test. So it's just too much. Outside of not wanting to subject Mila to an unnecessary blood test, like she doesn't have rabies, she's vaccinated, she's not around wild animals. She goes in her backpack to Starbucks for God's sake. So coming from Colombia is not gonna work. Another reason we're not going to the EU right now is simply because Mila is not yet eligible. As I dug deeper into the requirements, I saw some verbiage that made me a little bit more nervous about our eligibility. So your pet needs to be microchipped and have a rabies vaccination. But there's a tricky little clause that says that your pet has to be microchipped first and have their rabies vaccination second. Mila got her rabies vaccination at what, like 3 months old? The vet we were going to at the time said they don't usually microchip at that time. What they do is they wait until they're getting spayed or neutered, and then they put the microchip in because they're already under anesthesia. So Mila has a rabies vaccination, she has a microchip, but because the rabies vaccination has to be after the microchip, we have to wait until another round of her vaccinations. Mila's next rabies vaccination is due in like mid-July, I think. And then there's like a 30-day waiting period after that. So the earliest we could travel to the EU is in mid-August. So this is a really long-winded way of saying we're going back to Mexico next week for the next 5 to 6 months, I guess, while we're waiting out Mila's microchip rabies vaccination situation, which is great. I love Mexico. I want to take her to so many different cities, and I'm really excited to be there. I know I dug very deep into the EU pet regulations, but the point I'm trying to get across is if you want to travel with your pet, do your homework. What I'm finding is the requirements that the airline will list on page 1 is usually like an overview of the requirements and not what they actually need to get your pet on a plane. So I encourage you, dig into their documentation, call the airline if you need to, do your due diligence before you buy your pet's ticket. Because if you get to the airport and they can't board because of some technicality, nobody is refunding your ticket at the airport. You know what I mean? So do your homework. I found this post online that I cannot stop thinking about. This post claims that the shape of your cat's paw determines their personality. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I love this kind of stuff. So let's look at the different cat personalities. Let's look at Mila's paw and see if it's true.
Do you think the shape of your paw determines your personality? Ma'am, what do you think?
So it looks like there's 6 different paw types. Let's go through them. The first one is the heart shape or the cuddle bug. And Mila is not a cuddle bug, so there's no way that her paw shape is that one. The second, we've got the grain of rice pad or the gentle shy soul. Again, she's not gentle or shy, so no way it's that one either. Third, we've got the rice ball pad. The righteous guardian angel. Loyal devoted protectors. Yeah, I could maybe. We'll see. Maybe that's an option for Mila. The Mount Fuji pad or the proud diva. I could see Mila being a Mount Fuji. Let's see what else we got. The shamrock pad or the eccentric dreamer. I don't think she's that one. The 6th one is the rocket pad or the restless troublemaker. I would put money on her either being the Mount Fiji or the rocket pad. Let's see what we're working with.
Mila, can I look at your pad? Can we look at your paw? Can we look at your paw? Can I? Okay. Yeah.
I assume Mila was not gonna let us look at her paws. So I'll wait until she's asleep. Maybe I can get a video then. We'll check her paw out and we'll see if her paw pad and personality match up. I knew she was a rocket pad, a restless troublemaker, quirky, temperament can be a bit fiery. Yeah, those are all Mila. I'm gonna put the link to this post in the description. Will you guys go and see if your cat's paw pad and personality match up? I am so curious to know if this only works on Mila or if it's across the board for all cats.
Hello, my little rocket kitty. My fiery little guy. Yeah.
As I was making this video, I had a thought and I remembered that I have extra screen from when we made Mila's catio. I brought it with us to the country because Mila loves playing with it. So I duct taped it up on the sliding door and hopefully that'll help keep some of the mosquitoes out while still giving us some airflow. Okay, I think that's all for this time. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you very, very soon.